So there I was, thinking about what the strongest Pokemon of all time is. It's actually a bit of a tricky question, and there's a number of different cases to be made. Obviously, Xerneas is a contender because of its raw power and sweeping potential, but Pokemon like Primal Groudon and Primal Kyogre are also relevant in the conversation. Moreover, what does it mean to be strong? Is a Pokemon that fails to do damage but commands respect like Smeargle viable to consider? What about Pokemon who aren't strong on their own but enable other Pokemon to be their best, like Incineroar? Rather than actually answer these questions, I instead became interested in a different one. I've spent so much time with Pokemon, but specifically the Pokemon video games, and within that, competitive Pokemon. I realized there were entire facets of Pokemon that I just knew nothing about, specifically the anime. I thought to myself, maybe in understanding what the anime portrays as the strongest Pokemon, I can better understand what it means to be strong in the video games as well. However, I'd immediately run into a blocker. I haven't watched the Pokemon anime since I was a child, which I believe was somewhere during the Hoenn arc. I thirsted for knowledge, but I was unable to quench it with my meager understanding. So I reached out to Yoshiller. Yoshiller is an expert in the Pokemon anime and also makes Pokemon anime content on YouTube. I watched some of their videos to get a sense for their style, and I was impressed. After some research, Yoshiller provided me with a breakdown of the answer to my question, which I'm excited to share with you all now. Before we jump into it, we have to do my favorite part of these types of videos, laying down the ground rules and establishing boundaries. First, when talking about the Pokemon anime, we have to be more specific. There have actually been multiple Pokemon anime, including most recently Pokemon Evolutions, which is currently ongoing. For the purposes of this video, we're going to be referring to only the main Pokemon anime featuring Ash and his friends. Next, although the games and especially competitive Pokemon make a clear distinction between legendary and mythical Pokemon, this line is far more blurred in the anime, and both categories are often lumped into simply legendary Pokemon. To make matters easier, in this video I'll be referring to both legendary and mythical Pokemon as simply legendary Pokemon. Talking more about legendary Pokemon, it's worth noting that as the anime doesn't use base stats like the games do, many legendary Pokemon are presented as simply stronger than average Pokemon. We don't want to make too many assumptions about how strong Pokemon should or shouldn't be, so for the purposes of this video, we're going to be looking only at the actual feats accomplished by Pokemon and not hypotheticals based on what we feel the Pokemon should be able to do. Some legendary Pokemon in the anime are not unique, in that there are many of them. Some Pokemon known to be one of many are Darkrai, Latios, and Mewtwo, for example. It is unclear what determines if a legendary Pokemon is one of a kind or not, but for the sake of this video, when there are multiple copies of the same legendary Pokemon, we're going to assume they all have the same capabilities. The last major disclaimer also happens to be the biggest one. According to Yoshiller, the main Pokemon movies are not canon. In other words, they cause continuity issues after the first 2 or 3 movies and are therefore thought to be mostly part of an alternate timeline. The reason I said that this was the biggest disclaimer is because these movies center around legendary Pokemon, and many of these legendary Pokemon do not appear at all in the main continuity. Rayquaza, Arceus, Giratina, and Hoopa could all be considered for the strongest Pokemon title, but we don't have enough data on them given just the main continuity. If you're interested in a follow-up video talking about what the strongest Pokemon is if we consider the movies, let us know in the comments down below. Thus concludes my favorite section, which means it's time for honorable mentions. These are Pokemon that are considered to be very strong, but not quite as powerful as our top contenders. Our first honorable mention goes to a Pokemon that is one of the most infamous in the Pokemon anime, Darkrai. Darkrai was famously used by Tobias in the Sinnoh League, and Tobias was able to defeat every single trainer he faced off against using just Darkrai, aside from Ash. Darkrai took out 3 of Ash's Pokemon before finally falling to Sceptile, and even though Darkrai did get knocked out, Tobias still won the battle and eventually the entire league. Our next honorable mention goes to the Lati twins, Latios and Latios. In the anime, Tobias possesses a Latios and Nurse Joy a Latios. Tobias's Latios takes out Ash's Sceptile and Swellow and ties against his Pikachu. Nurse Joy's Latios was shown during a gym leader evaluation at Brock's gym, and it was never shown being defeated. Unfortunately, we don't have enough data to put Latios higher on our list, and Latios' strength was only shown in battle, so they remain honorable mentions. Garchomp is the first Pokemon to make our honorable mentions that isn't a legendary Pokemon, and that's entirely because of Cynthia. Cynthia is one of the most recognizable and difficult champions in the video games, and her signature Garchomp is threatening to anime and video game fans alike. In the anime, she nearly swept Paul's team before the battle was called off, and we know she has used it against Elite Four members as well. Garchomp, like Latios, has never been shown losing a battle. Cynthia shows up in Unova to help Ash take down Team Rocket, which also demonstrates that Garchomp is a force to be reckoned with even outside the region division Cynthia is champion in. While this isn't relevant to our video, it's rumored that Cynthia will appear in the Pokemon Journeys anime, so perhaps we'll get more data on Garchomp soon. Our last entry into our honorable mentions list is technically not one Pokemon but three, referred to as the giant Pokemon of Pokemonopolis. Giant Gengar, Alakazam, and Jigglypuff appear in Season 1 of the anime. These Pokemon rampaged around, destroying the surrounding area, and were basically immune to any attacks from Ash's Pokemon. In the end, the giant Jigglypuff put these pre-Dynamax terrorists to sleep, but it's possible that they may have been in contention for the strongest Pokemon if their rampage had gone unchecked. Thus concludes our honorable mentions. Before we proceed to our final three contenders, let me know in the comments which Pokemon you expect to make the list. Coming in at number 3, we have Reggie Gigas. Reggie Gigas doesn't appear often in the anime, but when it did, it was the subject of Team Galactic who wanted to harness its power. We know that Reggie Gigas is the leader of the other 3 Reggie Pokemon at this point in the anime, and in order to stop it from rampaging, it took the combined efforts of Regice, Registeel, and Regirock. We also know that legendary Pokemon in the anime are treated differently than in the games, and so it's probably fair to say that requiring 3 legendary Pokemon to stop one is, at the very least, impressive. Moreover, the other Reggie Pokemon had already been established as powerful in the anime before this point. Frontier Brain Brandon had a team featuring all 3 of the Reggies. He used Regice against Ash, who struggled to defeat it, and Regirock and Registeel managed to knock out all 6 of Paul's Pokemon before a single Reggie fainted. Additionally, Regigigas was able to use Confuse Ray to confuse the other Reggie Pokemon who were attempting to calm it down, implying it has significant power capable of overwhelming other legendary Pokemon. Lastly, Regigigas is somewhat associated with nature, and has demonstrated an ability to heal its surroundings. Not super relevant in the power discussion, I just think it's cool. For fans of the movies, Regigigas demonstrated the power to control Pokemon around it, but that ability never appeared in the anime, so we won't consider it. This was Regigigas' main appearance in the anime, as after it debuted, it needed to be sealed again, presumably to prevent a cataclysmic event in the future. Our number 2 spot is given to a Pokemon overshadowed by its peers in competitive Pokemon, Zygarde. Zygarde actually got its own full arc in the Pokemon anime, where it was nicknamed Squishy. Zygarde is a Pokemon that becomes more powerful depending on how close to completeness it gets, similar to Cell from Dragon Ball Z. The main version seen in the games is Zygarde's 50% form, which resembles a snake, and in the anime, this form is capable of competing with other legendary Pokemon. In its complete form, Zygarde is powerful enough to potentially destroy the world. The anime reveals a flashback where 50% Zygarde is shown destroying a city. Zygarde was only briefly seen in its complete form towards the end of Pokemon X, Y, and Z, where it transformed to stop Team Flare from taking over the Kalos region, and in this form, it was able to stop the destruction that was being caused in Lumiose City. Zygarde was initially mind-controlled and manipulated to cause the initial destruction of Kalos, but it's worth noting that this was done before it reached its complete form. In the anime, it has been said that Zygarde's complete form is capable of overwhelming Xerneas and Yveltal, which is probably a surprise to anyone who's played VGC. However, Xerneas and Yveltal do not have prominent appearances in the anime, so it's a little difficult to understand what exactly this means. However, symbolically we know Xerneas and Yveltal are associated with life, so you could make the argument that complete Zygarde could destroy all life. Despite being one of the strongest Pokemon of all time, Zygarde in its cell form is incredibly weak and effectively useless. Its only abilities are to track down other cells to gain power, and to camouflage. In the games, Zygarde's cell form is the one version you aren't able to use in battle, similar to an egg. The lowest form of Zygarde that is usable is the 10% form, or the dog form. Coming in at number 1 is a fan favorite and a personal favorite Pokemon of mine, Mewtwo. In Generation 1, Mewtwo was designed specifically to be the most powerful Pokemon, which is a strong start. Mewtwo's not the only man-made Pokemon. We know other man-made Pokemon such as Porygon and Castform exist, but these Pokemon are made to perform simple services like email delivery or weather prediction. Mewtwo's original intention was to harness the power of the then most powerful Pokemon, Mew. As a result, Mewtwo became too powerful to control. It's the result of technology going too far, similar to Jurassic Park. We already know legendary Pokemon are considered to be stronger than regular Pokemon in the anime, and Mewtwo is a legendary Pokemon enhanced with technology specifically designed to be the strongest. Mewtwo also has access to 2 Mega Stones, but Mega Mewtwo isn't seen near its full potential in the anime. Mega Mewtwo appears in one of the movies, but even if we were considering those here, it ends up using its power to flee rather than fight. However, Mega Evolved Pokemon in the anime in general are seen to be extremely powerful and are often seen losing to only legendary Pokemon. Mewtwo is one of the few legendary Pokemon that can Mega Evolve, so we know that based on how these classes are treated in the anime, in general it should be very powerful. This is mostly conjecture though, as we haven't seen Mewtwo in Mega form in the anime enough to say conclusively one way or the other. In the anime, Mewtwo is able to destroy not only buildings but also islands with its energy waves, carry large objects and Pokemon using telepathy, bend reality and manipulate manipulate thoughts with its mind control powers, travel at extreme speeds due to its agility and teleportation powers, and withstand powerful blows and create force fields using psychokinesis. One of the factors earning Mewtwo the #1 spot is its incredibly high natural intelligence. One of the ways it uses its power and intellect is to duplicate other Pokemon. It is also able to speak to humans, which is a trait only a few Pokemon possess in the anime. Mewtwo debuted in the anime when it was used by Giovanni against Gary Oak. Gary had been doing well in the gym battle until Mewtwo came in and one-shot all of his Pokemon. When Gary is next seen, he's barely conscious on the floor. Mewtwo is another Pokemon that has never been seen being defeated in the anime, despite appearing several times over the course of the show's run. Unlike Reggie Gigas, Mewtwo is not sealed, and instead resides in a cave far away. And despite its immense power, the people who know of its existence seem to feel it's best to leave it alone, which is not normally the case with legendary Pokemon. And that's the list. Obviously this is a bit different than my normal content, so if you've made it this far, thank you. I'd like to give a huge shout out to Yoshiller once again. If you want to see more anime content like this, I strongly recommend checking them out. If you want to see more anime content on my channel, let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching.